Have you noticed any shifts in spending patterns or consumer patterns?
Not yet so much as a result of changing interest rates, but I think in terms of the consumption side of our economy, we can't look at the consumer through a monolithic lens, either on the behavioral side of things or the confidence or sentiment side of things. You are seeing vast differences in terms of the health of the consumer, the health of households, depending on where you sit on the income spectrum, whether you're an asset owner, what share of your income goes to discretionary spending versus non-discretionary spending, even attitudinal measures like consumer confidence. The Conference Board breaks consumer confidence beyond just their headline index reading into four income zones. And maybe no surprise, the three lower zones have been in declining confidence mode. The only zone where confidence has been rising is in that higher zone. If you look at things like defaults and delinquencies, the real pain points have been down the income spectrum into the subprime categories. We're starting to see a little bit forward-looking perceived pressure in some of those attitudinal surveys about, how do you think the environment's going to look 6 months from now? Starting to see some cracks there, but this is not a backdrop where you can look at the consumption side of the economy with a monolithic lens. It is really not even bifurcated, as if it's really on a spectrum. And I think you have to look at it on that spectrum, because the consumer isn't just one thing. By the way, that may seem like an obvious comment, but during the surge in stimulus and the coming out of the lockdown part of the pandemic, you could actually look at the consumer through a monolithic lens. Savings rates across the board jammed up to 30%. Excess savings was through the roof. There was pent-up demand pretty much by everybody. And even when services opened back up, you could. Now I think you've got to stand the breakdown of the consumer, and where you're seeing those pockets of weakness, but where you're seeing that ongoing resilience.